Okay, hey, how's it going? So in this video, I'm going to do something pretty cool. I'm going to basically break down like three viral lessons from Netflix serie, The Influencer. It's pretty awesome. And I will dive down into it very soon, but just kind of like a disclaimer right now, like a spoiler alert. In order for me to basically show you the takeaways, this is a spoiler alert, right? I need to basically tell what's going on. I'm not going to tell who's winning the series, like The Influencer. It's like this reality show, but there will be spoiler alerts here, right? So if you really want to watch the Influencer series and you don't want to kind of get any spoilers, just like stop this YouTube video right now, go and binge watch that series because it's freaking awesome. And you can learn an insanely amount by just like sitting on the sideline. Okay, so that being said, now I have given you my spoiler alert, so now I will just like dive straight into it. Okay, so The Influencer is a series that is on Netflix, and this is pretty awesome because like The Influencer, they're basically like on Netflix, like there's a lot of like reality shows and movies and series that are from Korea that are like really crushing it, and they're like insanely popular. And also like the Netflix series here with The Influencer is really cool. So basically what it is like a Korean like virtual show, right? Like virtual reality show where they basically are inviting like the top influencers in Korea to participate. And it's like it's totally mind blowing. Like some of them are like insanely big on YouTube, some of them are insanely big on TikTok, and so on and so on. So basically, all these influencers are gathered. Like, I don't remember how many there were, like 80, 100, whatever. I think it was 80, but it doesn't matter. But like, there's so many influencers. And in the beginning, they basically, on the color here that you can see, this is like a digital color. And that digital color represents the amount of social media followers that they have on their biggest channel, right? So some have like 500,000 followers on Instagram. Someone have like 2 million subscribers on YouTube. And I think there's even like this woman who has like freaking like, uh, don't quote me on this, but I think she has like, I think it's like 20 million followers on TikTok. So it's obviously insane. And obviously there are differences between the different platforms, right? So obviously like a TikTok follower is not as much as kind of like worth regarding monetization. Basically, how you're going to extract money from from the following, as for instance on Instagram or on YouTube, right? So people might disagree with me, but basically, like I know some of the best marketers in the world, and basically what they're telling me is like you got TikTok here, and then you have Instagram, and then you have YouTube, right? So basically, what you want, there's a reason why I started with a YouTube, right? So anyway, so let's just like dive straight into it. So like this is an influencer in the show, and this is an influencer in the show, and obviously, like why did I put her like this woman here? Obviously, because like this is probably, well, maybe the only time when I can create a YouTube video where I can actually have a very provoking, sexy image of a woman, but it would also make sense to the content that I'm going to share, since I'm like in the marketing slash make money online. It's like I can't be doing that stuff like a lot. So anyway, so okay, just checking with you for the last time, like if you want to watch the series like The Influencer, just like stop the video right now, because if you don't want any spoilers, and just like binge watch it, and then you can come back. But anyway, so this is kind of like the really cool thing here. So okay, I'm just jumping straight into it. There will be spoiler alerts. So in the beginning, all these like 80 influencers, and some of them know each other, but like many don't know each other, and all have this collar right around their neck. So basically what's happening is kind of like step number one is that the goal is that everyone has like, I think it's everyone has like a specific amount of likes and dislikes that they need to give to the other people. So I don't know, I think it was like, if they each one have like 15 likes and 15 dislikes, or was it 30? It doesn't matter, just like watch the show, it's the same. But basically my point is they have like a specific amount of likes that they need to deliver to other influencers, and they have the same amount of dislikes, right? So, and they also have kind of like this stage in the middle, like there's like a big kind of like conference hall, and there's this stage in the middle with the microphone, right? Basically what's happened in the beginning is that everyone is kind of like really anxious, because it's like, oh, how can I get likes, how can I get likes, oh, I hope I don't get dislikes, I hope I don't get dislikes, right? So basically what they do in the beginning is that people start to kind of like switch, kind of like start to befriend other people and say like, hey, if you if you send me a like, I'll send you a like. So they basically, some are starting to exchange likes, right? So hey, my name is Tor and whatever, and like, you got any likes left? Like, I give you a like, you give me a like, okay? So they do this kind of deals where they're switching, right? But the real kind of like what people are afraid of is the dislikes, right? And all would be kind of like counted at the end, and then basically I think it's like 50%, so basically 40 of the 80 will be eliminated based on, like, I think it's going on for like maybe like 1 hour or 2 hours or something, very short period of time. So they're basically slicing the amount of contestants in the reality show in half. 40 has to leave right away after they finish with phase number one, right? And then basically what happens is that people are so afraid of kind of like the dislikes. So a few people kind of go into on the scene, one at a time, of course, and they grab the mic and they try to kind of like uh, entertain or try to dance, but people don't like that. Like the influencers don't like that another influencer is trying to kind of get attention, right? So basically what they do, that every single freaking time, like one of the influencers goes up on stage and try to entertain the other one, like they're getting like a ton of dislikes, like boom, 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 boom. The other influencers don't like it, so they start like sending like dislikes, boom, 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 boom. And I'm not going to dive too deep to this, but the point here is that finally, like one of them is getting like this epiphany that, oh, holy crap, like they did not say how it is counted. So they didn't say anything about the rules, how the dislikes are being counted, right? So then one of them gets like kind of like this epiphany moment, which is just like, oh wow, holy crap, like what if likes is the same value as dislikes? Because as an influencer, you need to stand out, right? And the worst thing it is, if you want to grab attention, is to be ignored. And then the conclusion is for this person that, hey, maybe like dislikes will be counted as has equally for as many as the likes. So for instance, if you get like 10 likes and then you get 10 dislikes, it's basically 10 plus 10, which is 20. So you get 20 points, right? So this one guy got this epiphany, and he basically goes up on stage and starts like basically like disrespecting people and provoking them so he can get more dislikes. And it works. It works like crazy. So anyway, moving on. And kind of the epiphany here and what's actually happening was just people like literally like mind blowing for people and for me too, is that it is true like what he said. So the rules are like the people who got the most amount of points, which is likes plus dislikes, same amount equally, right? And the people who didn't get like dislikes, they're basically getting less. So what's the takeaway here? The takeaway here is that if you want to stand out, if you want to build your personal brand, if you want to grow and scale your business, like you can't be afraid of the haters. You can't be afraid of what people think about you. If you put yourself on videos and you're putting yourself on Facebook ads or YouTube ads or whatever, like you cannot be afraid of haters. The same when you're doing like social media, putting yourself on images, on videos, like you cannot be afraid of haters, because like if everyone were afraid of haters and like internet trolls, like no one would publish anything, right? And there's kind of like this old saying, I think I heard this from, was it like Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, but basically like the saying goes, dogs don't bark at parked cars. And what does that mean? That if a car stands still, the dog is not barking. And basically, and you probably understand this, but just to kind of like give the point to everyone here, is like how this ties in is like if you're not doing anything, you're not getting any reactions from other people. So it's actually better for yourself. Obviously, everyone wants to be liked, like of course, but like it's, you really want to kind of go out of your comfort zone and just go and do shit, like present yourself, give content, give value, and just like screw what other people are thinking. Okay, so you'll get haters, like who cares, like Tony Robbins and like Dean Graziosi and all this like huge influencers, like they have so many haters, but they're saying that it is worth it, because if they hadn't had the haters, they wouldn't have had the influence, and they wouldn't have the influence to basically help more people, which is also tied down to the more people that you help, right? The more money that you make. Okay, so just moving on. So that's just kind of like step number one, kind of like the viral lesson number one. And like this video is being longer than I expected, but I don't care. I promised you three tips here. So I'm giving, this was the number one. And there are actually several here, but let's just stick with the basics here. So that was number one, okay? And then you have number two, which is pretty awesome. And basically what happens is like one of the kind of like the assignments, the challenges that the remaining contestants are getting once the first one has been eliminated, basically getting on a live stream. So they are all 40 sitting in like these kind of like isolated cubicles where they have like the computer and everything with like lighting, mic, and like camera. So they're going to live stream all of them, and these are influencers, right? So they have a big following, but like all of them are going to live stream. So number two, they're going to live stream. And with live stream, the kind of the funny thing here is, and you probably know this, but I'm just like going to tell you anyway, there's a huge difference between which platform you are on, because live streaming is all kind of like being on a webinar, right? It's just that you're not selling shit, right? A live stream is basically where you're live with your audience and you're giving them value and you're answering questions, right? So the key here is to be present, number one. Number two, to be engaged. You need to be engaged with people, so they will not only be communicating with you, but they are basically staying online on the live stream. And all there was like these like 40 influencers, and they're basically getting points based on how many people on average are being live on their live stream, right? And yeah, it's pretty awesome. But my point here is basically that there's a huge difference here, and this basically comes to what their audience is used to. So it doesn't have anything to say like if one of the influencers has, I'm just going to use this as an example, has like 500,000 followers in Instagram, but like she hasn't been live streaming at all. Like, so if she hasn't been live streaming, her audience is not aware what she's doing. And obviously this is like obviously live. So once they live stream, like everyone needs to live stream. So it will be depending on, are their audience awake, and where, in which countries are the audience, and everything. But as you can imagine, like it has everything to do with, have you trained your audience to live stream? So the people who, like the influencers who hasn't been live streaming a lot, they have a big disadvantage to the ones that have been live streaming, right? Okay, so that's kind of like lesson number two. And I'm also going to share one lesson more, but like this will be yeah, this is really spoiler alert. So I'm not going to say who it is, but some of them are like really smart. They're doing like freaking insane kind of like bait and switch in headlines, right? And obviously we don't like bait and switch, right? But in that case, they're proving the point that it works, right? So one of them is doing something like he's basically having his live stream on YouTube and is basically changing the title to I'm telling you the secret about Netflix. And I'm telling you the secret about Netflix. And then he starts basically dissing Netflix, and and it's a Netflix show, right? So you can imagine why this is kind of funny. But by him basically starting to talking smack about Netflix, like it's not like bad, but like a little bit disrespecting, like his live stream audience is increasing, like getting more and more live people on there. So that's kind of like another point there with using bait and switch. Like obviously I do not at all at any time, because like a moral and ethical marketer and business person. Like I do not recommend using bait and switch at all, but it works, right? And if you don't know what bait and switch is, it's basically you come with some sensational, insane headline, and then it's not what you're going to do, right? Or you basically do something anyway. And then you have um and then you have like number and then you have number three, which is also pretty insane. So this is like one of the challenges at the end where they're paired up like two and two, and they're basically going to take like and the challenge, it's an image test, right? So they're going to take one photo, and basically what it will look like is that it will look like kind of like this grid, like on an uh, Instagram kind of grid, like 3.3, right? So they have like these three routes, three routes, three routes, and three routes. And basically what it's all about is that they're going to, so they know that they're in a competition with like the other like eight pairs or whatever. And it's all about kind of thinking what will the other people do and what do they need to do, right? So it basically start, and they have like these awesome like showrooms. They're like big rooms. Like I think they have like seven or eight like high end showrooms where you can take pictures. One is with a lot of money, and there's really kind of well thought. It's kind of like photo shoot with like top notch quality, right? So uh, my point here is basically what they're doing here, and this is important, is that one of them is doing something very smart. So he's just like, okay, I assume that everyone else will be doing pictures, right? So what we will be doing is we will be doing picture with text. And then you're going to use kind of like a bait and switch in the text. So again, they're using bait and switch, right? And basically what they're going to do is that they're going to what he's doing. So this guy, he's kind of like very famous in Korea. So like he's like a celebrity, celebrity, right? And like the other influencers were kind of pissed at him because like, why are you going to be in the show? You're a celebrity, right? But anyway, so then he's paired up with this woman. It's actually this woman here, and she is called like My Boo. She's kind of like this cosplay influencer, which is pretty cool. So she's doing cosplays and stuff, and she's kind of creating her own gadgets, and pretty insane with the costume and everything. But my point here is like the bait and switch article is like it's a picture with him, he is a celebrity with her, and then it basically says something and his name, so blah 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 is revealing his girlfriend, or something about him having a girlfriend, and that's her, right? So that will make more people like look at it and basically click on it. So that and here's the thing, so he's basically starting from the start with having like a headline, like a lot of text, like having text and a picture. So they need to read the text in order to go there, right? And basically what happens afterwards when they're finished with that is that everyone else are then copying him because they have different rounds. So round number one, he started to do this with the text stuff, and in round number two, everyone is doing text stuff. So then it's images with text. So all the other competitors are doing the same. So what's my point in this? My point with this is to always be aware what your competitors are doing. And like, if you decide to, like, if you know what the saying, if they sig, you need to sag. And that's like really important, is to kind of like know the trends and know what's going on. And because at the end of the day, you do not want to kind of like be the same as everyone else, right? Like when I started my YouTube channel, like as an old YouTube channel, like I don't want to be like Iman Gadi. Like I don't want to be like Sam Owens. I don't want to be like Alex Hormozy. I don't want to be like Charlie Morgan. Like I'm trying to find my style, and once I can find my style and see kind of what works, like that is basically what it's all about. So it's all about kind of like finding your voice, right? And like everyone is doing like this and that, and like fine, you're looking at what they're doing, but do not try to do exactly the same because it's not going to work. So you need to find out kind of what is working with you. And that was also something that one of the guys said, I think his name is like Penny Bottle or something like that. And he's like also a contestant in the, I will finish up with this since this is on YouTube. So he's the biggest travel influencer on YouTube in Korea, right? And when he started as a travel influencer, like everyone else were doing like all this kind of like kind of really like, and now I'm quoting him. So all his competitors were doing like all this kind of like travel video blogs, like with YouTube. They were, everything was like very professional, like the lighting, the scene, like very good, like very like high end professional. And he basically just like flipped it the other way. So he went just like totally raw, like totally natural, doing the direct opposite, right? And that's also kind of like what I'm trying to do with my channel here. So the reason why I'm doing this kind of like very raw style is just like, number one, like I don't want to spend time editing and doing subtitles and like stupid stuff. Like I literally don't have time. So for me, it's super important for me to just like be authentic, like you and me, like this. Like I would probably stutter, I would probably say things wrong, but like I don't care. I'm all here just for one reason, and it is to provide value. Because like my goal with this YouTube platform is basically to build my brand, and more important to give you guys value. And like I really don't need to earn any money from YouTube. That's basically why I can do this. And I do think it is fun, like very important. Like I love to give value, but I gotta be honest with you, like creating these videos, and I've been doing like for an hour, like 12 days straight, like with excluding the weekends. But I've done it like every single freaking time after I started. And even today, like I was just like, oh, holy crap, like am I really going to do this shit? Like this is pain. This is pain. And but it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like that's kind of why I'm so passionate about this, and I really just want to provide you value. So like, yeah, if you have any questions, just like comment below. But I do highly recommend you like watch the Netflix series, The Influencers. It's pretty freaking awesome, and you will learn a lot. Like these influencers, they're insanely good, like insanely good. And the biggest influencer there had like, was it like 20 million followers on TikTok. Another thing that is different here is obviously like the short form content and the long form content, right? So the YouTubers were kind of laughing at the TikTokers because they do kind of like the short form content. And this is also kind of like an additional takeaway, like doing. And this is not just me, like obviously because I'm starting with this, so like I'm no expert at it, just being super transparent. But I do know some of the best marketers in the world. Like among them is basically Evan Carmichael, which is have over like 4 million subscribers in the kind of like the business space. And there is a big difference between like shorts, like short videos, like viral, like YouTube shorts and so on, the ones that are like under like 60 seconds, and the long form content. And at the end of the day, this is like yeah, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but like what you there's like two different games, like short videos and long form videos. There's like two different things, completely different worlds, kind of like completely different languages, like Greek and Chinese. There's like freaking different, right? And what you really want to do in the beginning, you really want to master the fundamentals. You want to master the long form video. And that is the reason why I'm currently only doing a long form, because I need to take massive action and fail fast and become good at this. Because the long form content, and now I'm just like quoting some of the best like YouTubers in the world, like the long form content is the content that will build the know, like, and trust factor with your audience and help you to convert them into leads and to ever what you're selling. While short form content, the virals, the shorts, is good there to get like kind of views and impressions. But the only way that you should use your shorts if you're monetizing is to use the shorts to drive traffic, so you will get more eyeballs to your YouTube long form videos. So kind of look at it like this, and this is a super long video, I do apologize for that, but at the end of the day, you've heard the saying like all roads leads to Rome, right? Rome. What's your Rome? You want your Rome to be your YouTube long form videos. That's your Rome. Whatever you're doing on freaking like TikTok and Instagram and whatever, it's just to drive traffic to your freaking YouTube page. And whatever you're doing with, like, if you're doing YouTube shorts, it's just to get traffic to, can you guess it? Your freaking YouTube long form videos, right? So YouTube long form videos is the thing that you need to master. It doesn't has anything to say if you're a total freak, a ninja, a black belt in viral shorts and all that kind of stuff. Like, if you don't have really good value content and actually can deliver value and basically get people to know, like, and trust you, right? Okay, so that's all for now. Like, I do apologize. It's kind of like went a bit way over here. So I just stop for now. And yeah, just like subscribe if you want more of these cool tips. Okay, bye bye.